Hey mate, so today I'm going to give a tutorial on how I made this cute little Christmas card, and pretty easy to make, and I'll take you through the steps right now. So the first thing I did was I used the paper pad. I'll show you the two paper pads that I used for this card, and for the stars I used this this pad, and then let me zoom out a little bit. And then I used this Recollections Christmas Noel Ice Crystals pad for this part of the card. So I think I've kind of shown. This is a really cute pad that I got. And I got this at Michael's pretty cheap. They were 60% off, and then there was another coupon on top of that. So I paid literally like $6 for that pad. And I like it. Okay, so the first thing I did was, and I won't make you sit through, is I have a card base, and again this is a Recollections card base. This is the large one in the bulk pack, and I cut a piece of this paper, and then I cut a piece of the pattern paper out. And for these though, I wanted to have kind of a little look to it, maybe, so it's a grunge look, but I'm using the Tim Holtz distressor. So I'm distressing the edges of the pad just to give it that kind of like, I just think it looks more wintry. Add some texture to it, dimension. Okay, and then I'm going to do the same with this pad. Okay, so once you're done with that, you can glue using, you could use regular glue, or you could use wet glue. I tend to use a lot more wet glue just because in case I need to move stuff around. I like having the wet glue. So I'm going to stick this down. Okay. And I know most people use double-sided tape, and I do have an ATC and lots of double-sided tape. I just like the fact that, to me, it's just that if you make a mistake on that, you can't really move it around. Once it's down, it's down. And this you can kind of position again. So there you have your card. And the next thing I did was I took some of the paper from this pad. Do I have any more left over? Okay. And I cut out, I took a lighter piece from that same, the first pad I showed you, and I cut out with my stars punch, I just cut out a bunch of little stars. But when I was making it, I kind of didn't like, I just thought like it was too plain. As I did this, kind of, I wanted to make like a little wreath out of the stars, but I found that, I don't know, it's just too white. So I wanted to add some color, but not too much color, so maybe that went around with the background. So I took, what I did was, I took some distress colors, and this is distress pads, and this is milled lavender, and I did weathered wood, and I kind of, then I spritzed them. I'm just going to kind of rush it over onto the stars just to give them some color, so that it's not just white. And I'm going to do some pinkish colors. Okay, so once you get everything punched out, I just lined kind of these things up, and I'm going to make a little wreath, star-shaped wreath. So I'm just going to glue them and kind of winging it. Okay, once you get that done, it's time to do the sentiment. Okay, I'm going to use a stamp from this set that I have from last year. So I'm gonna ink up my stamp with some Versamark, and then I am going to stamp it right about there. I'm going to put on some silver embossing powder. And I forgot to use my tool, which I always forget to use. Okay, so once I have that on, use the heat tool. Once that is done, I'm going to add some perfect pearls just to the wreath. Okay, and a little trick so you don't have that peak on those is you kind of tap the bottom, and that will take the peak out. And then I have some seam binding that I sprayed, and this one I did it in pink, and this one I think I'm going to do it in blue. So I'm just going to tie a little bow and cut it. Glue it right there, and there you have it. Just a quick, easy, very cute, almost kind of vintagey kind of / mixed media card. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.